Help support our coverage with a free account on Privacy, the service that keeps you protected when shopping online. Get $5 to try it now by using promo code QZZ2J. And with Blueberry, the community that gives creators the power to make money, get detailed audience measurements, and host their audio and video. Get a 30-day free trial by using promo code Blueberry004. Well, our next guest is here. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome.
How are you doing?
I'm good. A little nervous.
Oh, don't be
Excited.
nervous.
We're just going to have a conversation. You've been having them all week so far. It's fine.
All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead and introduce yourself for us.
All right. I'm Amy Lee, co-founder and CEO of Concha Labs. I have hearing loss. My background includes Berkeley Engineering, worked at Genentech. I have a Stanford MBA, and I worked in the hearing aid industry.
Okay.
And during my MBA, I opened up about my hearing loss for the first time in front of a larger crowd. And people started to reach out and share that they also felt similarly frustrated about the space. So long story short, we started Concha Labs to help make hearing much more affordable, accessible, and actually sound amazing. So our technology is a software technology. It runs through your smartphone, and you can connect it with hearing aids, hearables, and we enable the customer to be able to directly program the sound profiles on a range of consumer-grade devices.
Wow. And what kind of devices are y'all allowing people to program for right now?
So we're starting first with hearing aids. We call them hearing pods, and basically as a customer, so I've been wearing hearing aids for the past 25 years. It doesn't matter really the product or the hearing device that I use. What matters is that the sound profile on the device is set to my needs and preferences.
Yeah.
So we are building that key through software so that we can actually take any hearing aid and be able to program the sound profile such that you're able to hear as clearly as possible.
Sure.
Yeah, and especially like I had a deaf drummer for many, many years in one of my bands, and
Awesome.
it was he was actually amazing.
I love it.
Well, you can feel drums.
And since you're leading the charge,
I say deaf. He was hard of hearing. He had hearing aids in 2 years from 30 years of playing rock and roll, and the fact was he had no control. It was on and up. That's it. That's all that you had on most hearing devices until now with DSP technology. Things like that where we can actively put active noise canceling. Mm-hmm. We have electrolyte microphones small enough to fit 2 inside of one hearing device to make that happen so that you can cancel out background noise, focus in on just things like this.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, there's been some amazing advancement in technology that's happened. And I think that's also what enables us to do what we're doing today. Mm-hmm. A lot of so 2/3 of the price of hearing aids, which is a pair of hearing aids goes for an average of $5,000 in the U.S.
Yeah.
And 2/3 of that price is actually tied up in the labor and services from the professional, as well as the sound boost, the audio equipment that you need for the initial hearing test. And so for us, we're actually able to use a lot of what's on the hearing aids, as well as your smartphone, and like the built-in Bluetooth Low Energy that connects to the hearing aids to be able to directly set the sound settings on your hearing aids. And so we're actually able to leverage the current technology, the amazing stuff that's been happening, to actually get you to a much better sound profile.
Okay. So for example, say I have significant loss in the highs. I'd be able to maybe pull the highs and make them lower so that I can hear them more naturally?
I think that's eventually, yes.
Okay.
Right now, we are working on the settings that are from low, mid, high, and across the different gain input settings. We actually don't do frequency phase changes right now.
Okay.
Although that is an option that we plan to look into going forward.
So essentially like an equalizer almost.
Yeah, where you could isolate a frequency and say my ear is like myself. I've got a 10 dB dip at 1K in my left ear from years of broadcast because before you start, you get a 1K test tone blasted in your ear.
Yeah.
So I've got a dip in my left ear because of that. And what you're saying is that
Eventually.
soon, eventually, you will be able to say, 1K, I need you 10 dB higher, so that everything sounds the way my ear would naturally hear it without that damage.
Yeah, so the way this works
That'd be
is I'll just highlight what the traditional process kind of looks like
Absolutely.
and how we kind of look like. So traditionally, when you hear that, during a hearing test, you basically hear tones, right? In like 1K, 2K, etc. And the tones get softer and softer until you can't hear anymore, and that's your hearing threshold. And when you think about it, the analogy in the vision space is that it's similar to an eye chart with rows of letters that get softer and softer until you can't hear anymore. So today, it actually goes through a process in which if you say, okay, I'll spend $5,000 on this, then an audiologist then takes your hearing threshold measurements, puts it through a formula that's based on averages to estimate what your sound profile or kind of a very elaborate equalizer on your hearing aid should sound like. But that's an estimate, and then you have to, as a customer, you have to actually, the first estimate might not sound great, and so you have to go through these follow-up appointments that are quite cumbersome to try to get you to your final sound profile that you'll like.
Yeah, it's optimized for you.
Yeah, and it's very time consuming, and it's also expensive. And so what we're doing is we're actually not going by the eye chart. We're analogy.
You're letting them creating their own eye chart, basically.
And actually, it's not really an eye chart. It's more like we actually give you sentences, and we ask you which sounds clear, which doesn't.
Okay.
And we take the one that sounds clear. We give you more options, which sounds clear, which doesn't, etc., to get you to the perfect sound profile that will help you hear speech or wherever you are as clearly as possible. So we go directly to setting whatever sound profile, whatever system that you have on your ear, which is going to be your hearing aids, or in the future it could be hearables, earbuds, etc.
Sure.
And so this is more similar to the modern day vision test, where you're asked which is clear, which is not, to get you to the perfect lens setting, which is like the material setting you need for your
left
eyes.
or right, left or right,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
One or two.
Better, worse, or same. Better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And our beta launch is going to be in February. So we've actually de-risked all of our tech components. We're basically there. We have people who are signed up, and so if you go onto our website, you can actually sign up for our beta launch.
All right, and the website is?
ConchaLabs.com.
Perfect. So how long has this project been underway?
So we've been at it for about 2 years.
Okay.
We were incubated out of Skydeck Accelerator, which is premium accelerator at UC Berkeley, when we were 3 people. Now we're 6 people across engineering, marketing, design.
Nice.
And it's been quite a journey. We've got a couple of patents around our technology.
That's awesome.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and we're working with leading audiologists from Harvard, Stanford, as well as amazing advisors.
That's great.
And since you're getting ready to, like you said, launch your beta program, what exactly is different between your alpha and beta, between launch and now? What are the changes, if you're allowed to talk about that right now before the actual launch of beta?
Or what have you learned in the process leading up to the beta?
Oh, yeah. So we've tested our technology with at least 50 people. Everyone who's worn hearing aids has actually rated us as better than the current hearing aids that they were wearing in terms of both sound quality and experience. And they'd recommend us to a friend at an average score of 9 out of 10. And so we're seeing a lot of positive responses. For our beta launch, we're just going to collect more data. The solution will be even more finalized. It will be almost basically what you get if you do become a normal customer during our US launch.
So more subtle customizations then, as opposed to just gross things. You can get into a little bit more subtleties with each individual person's hearing and testing, that kind of stuff.
Right, yeah. So our tech is just getting better and better.
Gotcha.
So our beta launch actually covers, as a customer, you get a pair of hearing devices, hearing pods that we call them.
I love that name.
Yep.
And we also have a monthly subscription so that we can practically send you extra parts. Like if your ear tips get yellow, then we practically send that to you. And you get access to our technology, which you can use anytime and anywhere. And the way we stand out is that instead of going through kind of a cumbersome, you have to experience where you don't know if what you are setting for yourself is optimal, through our technology, you always know that whatever sound profile you have is optimal at home, in like a convention center, at a restaurant, wherever you are, at just a push of a button or a very short customization.
Yeah,
Very
exactly. And with modern DSP technology, you can absolutely have presets for like convention center, office, all that kind of stuff.
And we're going further in that we actually, based on what we know about your background, based on what we know about your sound profiles we already have on you, and based on what we know about the ambient environment, we can actually offer you a default sound profile that we think you will like, you will really, really like. And so then that opens the door to not just a few limited presets, but a range of unlimited possibilities of sound profiles that you can use in any situation.
Now,
Very cool.
just to throw this out there, have you considered the pro audio market? Because one of the big things, my tagline going out of Talking Sound is take care of yourselves, take care of your hearing, and keep reaching for 11. Because without my hearing, I am nothing. I'm an audio engineer. It's what I do. I do nothing but audio and video. I wish I didn't have glasses, but I do. So the video isn't as good as the audio. But the fact that you would be able to program that, the fact that I could have customized ear filters, where going from venue to venue, I could, because some venues I have like metal hanging up on the wall behind me that vibrates. Some venues have brick walls, some venues have wood. So to be able to dial in a sound profile in my ear filters, customized
That would be awesome.
for each venue, that's a whole new market for your technology that would eat that up. Because I personally have about 4 different pairs of ear filters, depending on what environment I'm in, that I carry with me right down in my backpack. I have 4 sets of ear filters right now. If we're going out to a club tonight, I'm going to pull out 1 set.
We should talk more. We can make that infinite.
Absolutely. That's just it. It is a whole new market that you may not have considered.
Well, if people want more information, want to sign up for your beta, or possibly have ideas for additional markets in the future, how can they get that?
Come to our website, conchalabs.com. You can try out your free sound profile, which gets you a sense of how clear your hearing could be with our hearing pods, and you get to try it in quiet environments, in a noisy restaurant, and we're adding different environments too. And that's where you sign up for our beta too. And so we look forward to seeing you there.
Heck
Very
yeah.
cool. Well, thank you so much for coming and talking to us today. Hopefully the fear was unwarranted. And
This is fun.
Good.
Yeah.
See? Didn't I tell you? It would be fine. And hopefully you'll have a great rest of CES.
Great. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Have a good one.